And so how does this? Why did this interest you? I mean, you've got some heteronyms yourself. It
goes back to these zebras writing for different voices.
Mm.
And I had
was that your first book?
Yeah, that was the first book. I had two main heteronyms. One was Mr. Chipden, who was a mouse character, a big white mouse.
Mm.
He features on my Facebook photo at the moment. The other of my main heteronyms was Eric Walks, who was a very eccentric character in the 70s and in the 80s in Auckland. He was a religious nut, and he believed that Auckland was God.
Yeah.
And the way he worshipped his God was by going for walks in it.
Mm.
That's why he's called Eric Walks.
Mm.
And he used to do little performances, which would be a certain street walk, and he'd recite little poems and tell little stories about the things that he saw on his walk.
Mm.
And he was sort of an endearing character. He got hit by a bread van on Kaiba Pass Bridge in the late 80s, and so I killed him off.
Yeah. Okay, well actually I didn't ask you much about performance, and I think that it's a really interesting aspect of what you did, because I mean, I was too young to see your performances. I actually did see one, but I remember, what I remember of that performance is an incredible visual lushness and a strong kind of very uninhibited theatricality in it that I've never seen since, especially in New Zealand. And I also wondered about when you were making those performances. I mean, in this case, you were collaborating with people, so you were obviously involving their ideas as well. But there were quite neat personalities in those performances too, with funny little names. And,
So I don't really miss performing because of my size. I'm sort of limited, and you're more anonymous as a writer, so there's more. It's a vaster scope for doing imaginative work. But the nice thing about performance is working with bands too, is working with other people. So that's a real plus side. Early influence, I have to give another early influence is actually Warwick Broadhead. When I was 16 and 17, some of Warwick Broadhead's earliest performances, the Full Moon Follies, were wonderful, and they were liberating.
Do you think this is a bit like the return of the repressed, that this kind of more exuberant type of performance art or theatre could make another kind of comeback in New Zealand?
I don't know. I think I don't think anything's repressed anymore. I think everything is just so diffuse. I think times are definitely going to be harder. Maybe
that will be good for getting people to actually be more proactive.
And they'll sharpen the edge, so you may have more political theatre.
Not that we should ever welcome hard times, but...
No, but something will happen, It'll be interesting. But people will start walking the edge a bit more. And we'll see what happens.
Thanks a lot.